Hi, my name is Julia Grantham, and I'm an author of a new book called A Mole Like No Other. And this is the book. You can see it behind me, and this is the book close up for you. And I'm talking today with you from my home in England, where I live with my family and all the characters from my book. And I know that you've read a little bit of the story, and you've sent me some very, very good questions, which I'm very grateful for. And I want to answer some of the questions and talk to you about the book and how to write the book and about the characters and how they all come to life. But before I answer your questions, I want to introduce you to the main character of my book, who will find the name eventually in the book, and the name will be Moley. So actually there was one question, I think, amongst yours: what is his name? In the beginning of the book, he doesn't have a name, but when he finds his new home, he is called Moley. So say hello to Moley. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yes, so this is Moley. Hi, Moley. Good to see you. Are you excited to talk to children on the other side of the world almost? Very, very far from us. Yes. Yes. So kids we're talking to today live in Abu Dhabi. Do you know where this place is? No. Well, we'll have to look on the map and find the place so you can show it to all your friends. Yes? Yes. Okay. So this is Moley. And the story starts with him being stuck in a box with other old and unwanted toys. And I sometimes think, although I've started writing it very, very long time ago, but this idea of being stuck in a box and not being able to meet people, travel, is very similar to what we are experiencing right now with the lockdown, with not being able to travel. So in a strange way, this story, which I started writing quite a long time ago, actually is quite appropriate for the times we're living in now. So Moley didn't get depressed or too upset because he hoped that better things will happen to him and waited for them to happen. And one day it did happen. So for that, you need to read the first couple of chapters of the book, and you will know that eventually Moley will get out of the box and his adventures will begin. So one of your questions was, why did you write the book? And why did you choose a mole? Well, in honesty, I've chosen the mole, or rather my son has chosen the mole, many, many years ago in a school fair. Just like the book started, the book starts at a school fair where the family buys the mole from the stall of old toys which other people sell. They're very popular in England, this type of school fairs, where you can bring your old stuff and other people will purchase it for a little money, and then you maybe will give the money to charity to help other people. So that's how we bought the mole at a school fair. And as you can see, the mole is very unusual. Yes, you did ask as well why he is not like any other mole, why he is a mole like no other. Well, because first of all, he can speak. And secondly, he is very expressive. He can express all sorts of emotions, from happiness to sadness to embarrassment all sorts of emotions. And we just fell in love with him. And yes, yes, we fell in love with him. And I just wanted to write a story about him and his adventures. And another thing is that it's much easier to write a story about things which are actually happening. And lots of things which I'm describing in the book actually happened in our garden, right on our doorstep. They actually happened. We do have a family of ducks, which have ducklings every year. We did have a situation when the gardener was clearing out stinging nettles and almost destroyed the duck nest. And we had to build a shelter around it to protect her. So all of these little elements of the story actually happened. And I just had to write them down. Although writing them down is not a very easy thing to do, and it took me very long, 7 years to write this book. It wasn't like I was writing nonstop for 7 years. I started, then I stopped, then I've written another book in the middle, then I started again, and then I edited, then I sent it to one editor, another editor. They all came back with different suggestions. I had to choose what suggestions to use and what suggestions to leave. So it's a very long and not a very easy process. And of course, I had a lot of doubts. Will people like my book? Will children understand what I'm trying to talk about? Will they be interested in Moley's story? Will it be appropriate? Will it be engaging for them? So all these questions, of course, worried me and probably delayed the publication of the book. And now when the book's been published and received really, really well, I've had some other classes with other children from around the world, and I can tell you that people like the book from very different countries, from Australia to America to Russia to Abu Dhabi, where you are. So, and I feel much more positive about it now. And probably my advice would be, don't hesitate. If you have a story in you, write it down and let it out into the world. So for those who read a little further into the book, you probably know that Moley eventually finds a new home, which looks very much like our home here in England. By the way, if you can't find England on the map, you need to do the same as Moley does. Look it up and find it on the map. So, so Moley found new home in our home and meets new friends. They haven't become friends straight away, and it's just the same process as somebody starting new school, meeting new friends in a new class. It's never very easy. You're worried, you don't know whether people will like you, you don't know whether you'll find any friends or not. So Moley goes through all of those emotions of worry and anxiety, but eventually he becomes very friendly with other toys who live in the house. And what you'll be interested to know, that they are also real. They are real toys who live in our house and who were my son's toys when he was little. So Moley would like to introduce you to some of his friends. And when you read the story, you will meet them and get to know them better. So which friend would be the first one you want to introduce, Moley? Owly? Yeah, Owly. Owly. Okay, okay. So I'll let Moley to sit here for now, and I'll introduce you to Owly. Owly is an owl, and as you know, for many years, many centuries, and in many countries, an owl is a symbol of wisdom. So usually, owl is considered to be very clever, and our Owly is no exception. She is very large and very clever owl. Owlie, say hello. Hello. So as you can see, she's much bigger than Moley. She's got very big head and very big eyes. And initially, Moley wasn't sure that a clever person can have such big eyes, because he thinks clever person should have small eyes like him and hide what she's thinking about. But then Owlie proved him wrong, and he figured out that you can be very intelligent with very big eyes, and that's what Owlie is. So Owlie is Moley's best friend. Probably best friend, I don't know, but they go through a very rough patch during the course of the book. So again, when you read it, you will find out what it was all about. So Owlie, who will be the next toy we want to introduce? Who do you think? The dogs? Okay, okay. There are two dogs which are taking part in the story. Where are they? There they are. They are called Rusty and Rosie. They are very, very friendly dogs, and they're very happy to help. And they can count to 4, but only between them. So they do 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's how far they can count. Moley, of course, can count much further than that. So these are 2 dogs. And also we have a very big bear. There he is. Hello. This bear comes from Russia, where I come from. I'm originally from Russia. You probably can hear a little bit of an accent when I talk. And this bear is called Boris. And he's not called Boris because of British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, because we named him Boris well before Boris Johnson became a Prime Minister. So it's a Russian name, Boris, and he's actually called after my father. And Boris is very helpful, very kind, very cuddly. He likes to give big hugs to everybody. And he speaks with a Russian accent, and he counts in Russian. And that sounds like раз, два, три. That means 1, 2, 3. And in Russian, it's раз, два, три. So he helps Moley a lot. And when he helps him, he very often counts, because he wants everybody to do things together. And he counts them in раз, два, три. So that's Boris. And 2 other characters are brother and sister, and they are little dinosaurs. They are called Dina and Bronte. You see, Bronte was played with quite a lot, so his neck is quite weak, but Dina likes to support him and helps him like that. So these are dinosaurs, Dina and Bronte. So these are our characters who Moley will meet when he finds his new home. And apart from that, we have characters who are real animals. So I can't bring them here because they are real wild ducks and wild pigeons and domestic chickens who live with our neighbor, but they are real animals. So the difference about this book, that it's not just Toy Story when only toys interact with each other. And it's not just baby animals story. It's a story which brings them all together, and the animals interact with the toys, and they all can speak and they all can understand each other. And one of the things about Moley that I'm not sure, but I suspect that he is so special and he is like no other because he can speak. And I think, that's my guess, that he is able to understand all the other creatures. He can understand other toys, he can understand other animals, and his presence in the house makes the whole thing happen and possible. So he is a little bit magical as a mole. What are the questions you've asked me? Yes, I think I've answered more or less all of the questions, but because I still haven't shown you anything of the real animals who live with us, I want to show you a little video from last year of little ducklings when they were first hatched. These ducklings are literally 1 day old. They are almost as old as the ducklings in the book. So you can see a little video of the ducklings. And this year we have Ludwig and Alexis, our ducks, back in the pond. But there's no ducklings yet. It's too early. February is too early. March is too early for the ducklings. But I want to show you this little video so you could meet them as well. You see, they are so small that they can't even eat the seeds yet because they don't even know that they can eat them. So mom is eating and the ducklings are just looking around. Well, the last thing I wanted to tell you is that Moley has a lot of adventures in the garden. And after he helped to save the duck's nest, his owners, the boy called Ashley and his mum, made for Moley a special high visibility jacket, which he could wear when he went to the garden. And Moley has his high visibility jacket right here. So he wants to put it on for you and to say goodbye, wearing his jacket, you see, and to say, take safety seriously, wear your high visibility clothes when you go on the road or go outside in the dark. In the dark. Well, that's right. So I think I've answered all your questions. It was really, really good talking to you. And what, Molly? Yes, and Moley says, well, we'll be very, very happy to meet with you live, maybe from our garden, maybe when we have ducklings hatched. So do keep in touch. And yes, another thing. We'll be very, very happy to receive from you photographs of you reading the book or reviews of the book, because at the back of the book, we have a special chapter dedicated to readers' reviews. You see, some of them are handwritten. Somebody actually drew a picture of Moley in the pond and how he ended up in the pond. You need to read for yourself. And we have space here for you, saying write your own review here. So I hope you will write your own review and send it to us, like this one, for example, we've received from the USA. And I'll be more than happy to share your reviews on Facebook. Moley has his own Facebook page called Moley and Friends, and reply to you and say thank you. Moley will be very happy. He is always very, very proud to receive pictures and reviews from children from around the world. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So that's it for now. And I hope we'll meet again soon. You have a good World Book Day and keep reading. Bye. Bye-bye.